Hey friends, it's Betsy from flourishingplace.com, and in today's video I am taking you along with me to declutter and organize my kids' craft supplies. Well, hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Betsy. I have a wonderful husband and two small kids. Today I wanted to focus on decluttering and take you to a small corner of our home desperately needs to be decluttered and organized, my kids' craft supply area. So I call it the craft supply area, but really it's kind of craft supplies, it's little games, it's preschool activities, it's all these kind of things that have been thrown into this one dresser and it's bursting at the seams. I have stuff on the top, the drawers are full, things are not visible, things are not organized, and there is, I know, a ton of clutter in there that can just go. So I'm going to take you through the process that I always go through when I declutter a space that has gotten out of control. You can find this process in my free guide, which is 5 simple steps for decluttering any space in your home, and I'll link that up in the description box below. But basically I'm going to walk you through those 5 steps as it applies to this area. So here is the dresser. It is stuffed to the gills inside, and then there's a ton of stuff on top. And so the first thing that I always do when I'm going to declutter is I pull everything out so that I can see what I have and what I need to deal with. This is also something you could easily take in sections. So you just do the top part of the dresser one day, you do one drawer at a time. And like right here, I'm just working on the top first. I'm not opening any of the drawers. I'm gonna pull out 2 bags, my trash bag and my donate bag. Okay, so I just wanted to take you through some of the stuff already that I've taken off the top of the dresser. It's amazing how when we're busy and life is crazy, we just kind of throw stuff in a spot and then it just hangs out there and then we see it all piling up and it gets overwhelming. But then when we actually start to dissect it, it's not that big of a deal and it's pretty easy to take care of. So here are the things that were on top of the dresser. Yes, croutons. It's a long story, but those do not belong there. Some random things from the Dollar Tree. That stuff, that's like wooden wheels to another piece of furniture that's in a different part of the house. So those do not need to be there. I've got pipe cleaners up here and several things that earlier on I put in glass jars, crayons, markers. Why, when I have a 2- and 4-year-old, I put things in glass jars, I have no idea, but that is not workable long term. This is where I'm at after kind of purging everything that was on the top. This is stuff that I want to keep in this area, so I put away stuff that didn't belong in the area. This is stuff that I want to keep here, but I need to figure out what to do with it. So I'm going to start opening the drawers and figuring out what we have in there and then move forward. Forgot to show before that this is the surface up here that I'm working on to sort through things, but down here we have a bunch of files and stuff in this bottom one, so that one's not available space. But in here, we have these little cubes, spaces, and I just have some Play-Doh stuff hiding in here right now because it didn't fit in the dresser because it's too stuffed. So I'm gonna bring those out and I'm gonna think about all of the computer stuff that I have in the bottom 2 drawers of the dresser, moving that over to this space. So here are the drawers of the dresser, and inevitably some people are going to say, oh, that's not that bad, and other people are going to say, oh my goodness, you let it get that bad. The point is we all kind of have different thresholds for how much we're okay with in terms of having stuff on hand. For me, this is stressful because every time I open these drawers, I feel like I can't see everything, and I feel like things are just kind of thrown in there haphazard, and they really are. I've got, you know, the little pom-poms in there. I've got little Bob books in there. I've got then obviously the Play-Doh jars. And then in the next drawer, I've got this whole hodgepodge of, oh my goodness, there's stickers, there's puzzles, there's games, there's sidewalk chalk, all this stuff. And the point is, okay, yeah, it's all kind of stacked in there, but it's hard, if not impossible, to see, oh, there's a tablecloth in there too. That's the craft tablecloth that the kids use. it's hard to see what's in there, and I want everything to be visible. And so that is just frustrating for me, and I feel like I'm not fully able to see what we have and what's usable. Okay, this next drawer is a mixture of stuff for the kids and then also random like office supply stuff and note cards, stuff that has nothing to do with kids' craft supplies, but I stuck it in there because I just needed a spot for it. So I do not like it all. It makes no logical sense that that stuff is in there. So that needs to come out. This drawer, oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, do you guys have a box like this? Dreaded box of cords that you have no idea what they go to, but you don't want to throw them away because they go to something. So that's in there. That's like old, oh gosh, like old computer CDs. Yikes, but stuff it's like we can't get rid of it because we might need it. This bottom drawer is mostly, let's see, oh yeah, this is file folders and then paper for the printer. Like I was showing earlier with that other cube storage that I have, that stuff needs to get moved to another area. So I'm pulling that out and I'm gonna move it to another area. So now the cord box. And some things are easy to decide, like the printer ink that needs to be recycled, but my husband is one of those wonderful people who actually knows what some of these cords go to. My inclination would be to toss some of these out, but this is something that I need to go through with him so I can make sure that I'm not throwing anything critical that he has been hanging on to. So I moved the file folders and I moved the paper over into the storage area, and I have all of that there. It's visible. I can easily access all of it. And I have batteries tucked in there, and so all of that is over there so that I have more space in the dresser for the kids' stuff. Okay, now I'm getting into the dresser drawers, and I'm going to do exactly what I did with the top of the dresser, which step number 1 is to pull everything out. Don't start decluttering or deciding what you're going to donate or keep. Just pull everything out so that you can see everything that you have. I've got sidewalk chalk in plastic bags. I've got these rubber tubes. I've got paint. I've got all of these things in here, and so right now I'm just pulling everything out to see what I have, kind of see what the inventory is, and then that's going to help me decide what to throw away, number 1, and then secondly, anything that I want to donate. And you can tell that I have a lot of things here that are just mixed together. I've got stickers there, I've got some coloring stuff, I've got scissors, there's a cup of stickers back there, there's a magnifying glass, and so in looking at some of this stuff, like take these stickers, it's mostly empty. Most of the stickers are gone. So are we going to keep that or not? I also discovered this water paint. I don't know if you've seen one of these. It's that paint with water, one of those Melissa and Doug reusable coloring books. This is an awesome thing, but I totally forgot we had it because it's been buried. And so it was great to rediscover that. And yeah, we definitely want to keep that and use it. Here's another drawer that has, again, a whole mixture of stuff from different categories in it. Got a lot of activity books, painting books, puzzles, all sorts of things. And so right here, I'm just starting to pull this stuff out and figure out what I have, what we need to throw away, and what we need to donate. Okay, this is the part of the project where I'm starting to regret getting into this. If you follow Busy Toddler on Instagram, she calls this MPRS, mid-project regret syndrome. You're partway through and it's like, oh shoot. So let me just show you what I have going on. I've got this stuff here that I know we're gonna keep. So at this stage, I've gone through the first 3 steps of the process. Step number 1, I've pulled everything out. Step number 2, I've tossed everything I need to toss. Step number 3, I've set aside to donate everything that needs to be donated. Step number 4 for me is to group like items together so I can easily find things and it makes logical sense to me. Step number 5 is to arrange everything so that it's visible and accessible, and that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I finished the process of grouping like items together and putting them into the drawers of the dresser. So now I'm going to show you how I arranged things. This top left drawer, I put all the paintbrushes and scissors, all the paints. It's kind of the painting supply drawer. But the nice thing about it is it's simple. I can see everything that is in there very easily. So that is the key. I want to be able to open a drawer and immediately see what I have and know where to find it. Same thing with this drawer. I've got glue in there, I've got the twistable crayons, and I've got the washable markers, and that is it. Could I fit more in this drawer? Probably, but why? When I can keep it nice and simple like that and just have good visibility. These drawers are kind of hard to get open. All right, this is kind of my little preschool drawer, so more educational stuff. And again, there's a little bit of stacking here, but not nearly what I had before. And it's easy to just flip through stuff and see what I have. There is a lot here. I kept the stuff that we've really been using, but there's not so much that I open it and immediately feel overwhelmed. This next drawer, again, I have a few activity books, those pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, so kind of some crafty stuff, stencils, but again, everything is easy to see in this drawer. There's not stuff piled and smushed and stuffed on top of each other. I stuck a rubber band around that craft tablecloth so it's not squished and squashed everywhere and taking up tons of space. This next drawer is where I reserved space for the Play-Doh and for the kinetic sand. And again, very easy to access, super easy for me to pull out or for the kids to pull out if they're wanting to do Play-Doh. And so I just love how that looks. This drawer is kind of games and puzzles. Not kind of, it is games and puzzles. So I have the puzzles stacked all right there. Again, super easy. I have very few. I kept what we're using regularly, and then games, so that if we're wanting to play games together, we can just open that drawer, pull stuff out, and we're good to go. One thing I forgot to mention is you might notice in going through these drawers that you're not seeing a lot of new organizational containers or drawer dividers or anything like that, and that was really intentional. I'm a really firm believer in decluttering as much as possible and then evaluating to see if you actually need different containers. I'm definitely not opposed to those things. I think they really have their place. But oftentimes when I declutter, my need for getting more containers kind of goes away, because when I have a lot less stuff to deal with, it's pretty easy to organize. If you have an area of your home that has gotten out of control and it's just an area that you've been avoiding and procrastinating on touching because it just feels so overwhelming, I totally understand. That is how this area felt for me. I just kept throwing stuff in here and tossing stuff in there and closing the drawers and throwing stuff on the top and just shutting the door to that room and thinking, I will deal with that at some point. It's really easy when you just kind of dig in and you have a process that you're going through, like we went through those 5 simple steps, to kind of keep you focused and to keep you moving on the right track. And these are things that you can do a little bit at a time. You know, you don't have to do a project all at one time in a 2-hour chunk or whatever. And this definitely did not take me 2 hours. It was way shorter than that. But some projects are bigger, 2 hours or 6 hours or a whole day. And it doesn't always have to be done in huge chunks like that, because the problem is we procrastinate because we feel like we don't have enough time. But the truth is that projects like this can be done in really small chunks of time. If I only had 5 minutes a day to go in there and just open one drawer and just be like, I'm gonna pull out the stuff that I know I need to throw away, or I'm gonna pull out the stuff that I know needs to be donated, and you just look at one drawer or you just look at the top, you don't try to tackle the whole project at one time. That's the other way to get it done, because honestly, if we waited for large chunks of time to get decluttering projects done and to do our organizing and all that, we're just not going to get to it, because life is just not that way. Life happens in spurts, and decluttering and organizing often happens in spurts. And so I want to encourage you, if you have an area of your home like this, it can be tackled, it can be done. I have plenty of different areas like this. We need to tackle the garage. Oh man, there's so much to do, but you know what? It's totally doable. Thanks for watching. I really hope that this was an encouragement for you and it gets you motivated and excited for what you can do in your own home. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Again, you can get my free guide on 5 simple steps for decluttering any area on your home by clicking on the link in the description box below. I make videos on this channel all about decluttering, organizing, and creating beauty in your home on a budget, and I will see you next time. Bye.